If you are looking for some fourth grade curriculum ideas, hi. I'm Mallory, and I have three boys ages 5, 10, and 12, and I've been homeschooling for 8 years now. And as we near the end of this school year, I thought I would share what I used with my son for his fourth grade curriculum. So I will get right into it. For math, he used teaching textbooks, Math 4. This is just the CD-ROM set. Now you can also use the app on a computer or an iPad, and it's usually between $40 and $50, and you get all of the lectures. There's an electronic textbook and electronic grading for you, and it's all included in that price, which is crazy. We just have the DVDs because we didn't have very good internet or no internet at all, and so he's using these. Because if you buy the DVDs, you can use it with as many kids as you want. With the online version, it's only good for 1 year for one student. And you can pause that subscription if you need to and come back to it. So it doesn't have to be a consecutive 12 months. I usually pause the electronic ones we have over the summer. Okay, so for language arts, as we know, it's a bunch of different components. So I do require my son to read independently from a chapter book or an Usborne nonfiction book, or sometimes he reads his Bible. He just has to read independently every day. And then we also do the Good and the Beautiful language arts level 3. This curriculum is advanced, so I had him take the placement test. It placed him in level 3 because we haven't done a whole lot of grammar before. We've been working through this level 3 book. This curriculum uses art appreciation, a little bit of geography. They do read, they learn spelling rules, grammar, they have a little bit of writing. And so since it is so many different components, some parts worked for us and some parts didn't. So basically we do everything in here except for the spelling and the writing components, and I will show you what we use for those instead. But overall, just to give you a little idea of what that looks like, there's a lesson part that they do with the teacher or parent in your case. It just covers different things, but I do feel like it covers a lot of grammar and also spelling rules. And I still do the spelling rules even though we do a separate spelling curriculum, just because it's a good extra practice. And then they will have a part that's independent practice. So that's the part that they're supposed to do on their own, like poetry memorization, spelling, writing. But like I said, we do separate spelling and writing. So he does do everything except for those two things in this book. And it just really depends on the day how long that takes. So for math, I would say it just depends, but he's pretty good at math, so he probably gets that done in like 30 to 45 minutes, and then he reads for 20 minutes. We'll probably kick that up to 30 minutes next year and perhaps over the summer. And then this English takes us, if there's a lot of reading, it takes a little longer. So I would probably say 30 to 45 minutes just for this English curriculum. So this is a teacher's manual and the student book in one. If you need the answer key, it is available on the Good and the Beautiful website. And also this collection of poems came with this curriculum. So sometimes he reads from the poetry, sometimes he's supposed to memorize the poetry, and it also does come with a reader. And I will say the Good and the Beautiful, you can actually get it for free on their website through 6th grade, maybe longer, but at least through 6th grade, you can get the language arts curriculum for free, but you do have to print it yourself. And just for streamlining and time's sake, I just ordered it bound, ready to go. So for spelling, we use All About Spelling Level 3. And I have talked about All About Reading and All About Spelling. My son already went through all 4 levels of All About Reading, and then I just wanted him to do a little bit more as far as reading comprehension and things like that. So that's why I started doing the Good and the Beautiful with him. But the spelling, I just love the Orton Gillingham method. And so that's why we're going back to All About Learning Press for our spelling. And it comes with these other little extras like a silent ebook, and it'll have word banks. So it's just good for visual memory. So they'll read this list sometimes. There's a homophones list. One thing I really like about All About Reading and All About Spelling is they use this sticker chart so that they can get a sticker once they've completed a chapter, and it's just a little affirmation of their hard work. Also with this curriculum comes cards. So I have both my fourth grader and seventh graders cards in here. That's why there's so many cards, but it'll have phonogram cards, sound cards, key cards, and then word cards. This is a mastery approach to spelling. So if they are learning a new concept and they just don't quite have it down, then you put it in the review folder and you review it every day until they master it. And then you put it in the master. And then every once in a while you have to go over the mastered section. So if there's certain spelling words that they had a hard time with and they master it, and then during a review session, if they get it wrong again, you just put it back in the review folder. So I really like that about this curriculum, is that it really is tailored to your student. We have the tiles on a whiteboard, but usually we use the app, the All About Reading and Spelling app. I think it's $20 in the App Store. Totally worth it. It's a lot faster than moving around the actual magnet tiles, and it also is great for portability. Okay, so now for writing, we are using IEW Structure and Style for Students Level A. So it's year 1, Level A. You can either get a DVD or the forever streaming on the IEW website. So what my son will do is he will watch a video done by Andrew Pudawa, who's really funny. So this writing curriculum, it is nonfiction. Andrew picks topics that my boys find very interesting, like the blue-ringed octopus. It's this venomous octopus. And so they will read what they call a source text, and then they will create an outline, and then they will create a rough draft from the outline, and then they will add in what they call dress-ups, so like ly adverbs. They substitute weak verbs for strong verbs. They will insert because clauses and who which clauses. And then they have a list of words that are not allowed, so they have to swap out those non-allowed words for words that are allowed, just to make the writing a lot stronger. So the binder comes like this, and it'll tell them exactly what to do. So it's broken up into day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4 and 5. So you could get away with doing this curriculum only 4 days a week if that's your goal. They learn how to do all of these things. And I have to say, I ordered the IEW writing curriculum that's more topical based, so like the medieval history, and it was like pulling teeth to try to do it. For me to teach it, for my boys to get it out, it was just drudgery all around. And so I was even hesitant to buy another IEW product just because that one, it didn't seem to go very well for us. But I will say this one with Andrew teaching has been life-changing, and my boys actually enjoy it, and I enjoy it because the only thing I really have to do for their writing now is I edit, and I might answer their question if they want to know how to spell something, or if they have a question about writing, I will help that along. But ultimately, Andrew is an expert in this area. He knows how to break it down, and he also knows how to keep it interesting for little boys, which is what I have. So I'm very, very grateful for Andrew for putting this curriculum together. It's phenomenal, and also the kids learn how to write properly. That is one thing that even college professors complain about, is that they get students in college who don't know how to write. And so teaching them at a young age is great. And also, if your kid is more interested in writing nonfiction things, that's fine. They still need somewhere to start so they can see what good writing looks like, and then their imagination can take off. And once they have the tools in their toolkit of how to write properly and write a solid story or paper, then they can take off with that. But they need the foundation. Without the foundation, a lot of kids find it very frustrating, even if they're writing fictional stories. Whew. Okay, that was a lot of language arts. So we use all of that for language arts. And I do concentrate on the 3 R's in my homeschool, which is reading, writing, and arithmetic. So no matter what's going on, math and the English subjects for me are very important. We have to get those done. And we try to do those pretty much every day. The other subjects, they don't need to be done every day, in my opinion, but the math and language arts is very important in our homeschool. So that's where we spend a lot of our time. Once they have their math and language arts skills down pat, then they can just really take off with whatever they are interested in, and they will have the skills to be able to read and research things for themselves and write things up and do difficult computations later on. So those are all of the subjects that my son does on his own, with the exception of we do a weekly Bible study called CBS, or Community Bible Study. My fourth grader also has a Bible study that he has to read daily. So he reads the passage and then he has questions. And really that's extra language arts reinforcement as well as our religious studies. So those are all of his subjects that he does specific to his level, his grade level, and his skill level. And then the next couple subjects I'm going to cover are the subjects that we do as a family. So the first one is the Apologia, Who is God? And there's a whole series. I bought the first 2 books, which is Who is God? And I believe Who Am I? And so I just read this in the mornings while they're having breakfast, and we have just a nice little discussion. And they do have little journals that you can get, but for us, it's more of just like a discussion base. I don't want them to feel like that's extra schoolwork. I want to foster just good conversations between all of us, and it is, Bible and faith-based. So for science, this year, we have started using the Good and the Beautiful science units, and I have to say, I love them. They are beautiful. This is the Motion and Simple Machines unit, and it's for grades 3 all the way to grade 8, and it's laid out so simple, easy to use, and these are short. So this one only has 12 lessons. So you can decide how long that's going to take you. If you want to do 2 lessons a week, it's going to take you 6 weeks. If you want to do 1 lesson a week, it'll take you 12 weeks. So you can do this as much or as little as you want, and you just order the amount of units to last you for your school year. And they lay it out very nicely for you. They tell you what supplies you need in what lesson, as well as there's a vocabulary section. So they encourage you to have like a little board where you put the vocab words. I just keep them here in the binder and we review them whenever we do science. And then the lessons are laid out like this. It tells you, okay, this is what I need to do for preparation. These are the supplies I need. Then you read to the children, you go over the vocab words, and then sometimes they incorporate other things like paintings, and then they give you a simple activity to do. So this is just using household objects, and you're doing actual science experiments, but they are not over the top messy. They're not over the top complicated, because that's one of my pet peeves is doing science at home. I can't let it be too complicated. And then they have some beautiful videos. And so it'll tell you, okay, you need to watch this video, and then you're learning about Sir Isaac Newton. And then once you're done, so that would be like the end of that lesson, and then they go to their student journal. So this is the student journal for grades 3 to 6, and then it'll have like a little activity for them to do. So for this one, he had to match the definition to the word and then write down how long it took. We did an experiment with a ball rolling 4 feet, and he had to say how long it took, talk about velocity and things like that. So that's how it works. It's open and go, which I love. The science experiments are not too complicated. They give you the supplies list, and most of the time I can find all of the supplies in my own home. You can also buy supplemental books that will go with the lesson. And with the sports one, I thought, okay, the boys are interested. You don't have to do the extra books, but they are there if you would like. And with Good and the Beautiful, you can also download the PDFs and print them to use within your own family. If you want to use it for a co-op, they do ask that you pay for the co-op version, but they're so affordable and it's already bound for you unless you have a ton of kids and you're going to be using this curriculum a lot and you want to have the PDF version so you can just keep printing. You can definitely do that. They do have a marine biology unit that is totally free that you can download for free and print at home, and that would be a great way to get your feet wet with Good and the Beautiful. I'm a huge fan of not wasting your money and trying things out, because how do you really know if you like something until you've used it, especially when it comes to curriculum? So I highly encourage you to check out that marine biology unit, and then if you like it, you can order other things. However, if you are like me, you like things already printed, bound, ready to go, then you can absolutely just order directly from their website. And we started doing this one this year as well that I borrowed from a friend, Health and Physical Body Unit. And it's so beautiful, and it breaks everything down for you, and digestion. And I really wanted to do the heart unit so that I could explain to my boys what was going on with my heart. And again, the journal is similar. The student journals are simple, easy to follow. They don't take too long, but it does reinforce the concept. And this one came with little extras that my friend laminated parts of a cell, and she laminated these little cards so that they can figure out which part is what, and it gives a little picture, and they have to find, once you explain what this is, they have to find it on the picture in the teacher guide. And this one is like a bones matching activity, so they have to figure that out. Also, another way that my fourth grader has gotten some science this year is through our homeschool co-op. So one wonderful mom did a unit on building structures. So they would take toothpicks and marshmallows and try to build things and balance things and build bridges and all of this kind of STEM stuff. And then I did a unit on geology. So we went over some different books. We built a volcano and did an explosion. We cracked open geodes, we grew our own crystals, we did some streak tests and mineral identification, and then learning about the 3 rock types. So that's another way to get science in, is doing a class outside of your home. And for history, we did Beautiful Feet American History this year. There's this beautiful American history book that goes into so much detail and great illustrations. So you just read some pages out of that, and then there are some standalone books. So a lot of the books I got from the library, but we're reading about William Penn, which was very interesting. George versus George, 7 Miles to Freedom, Remember the Ladies, a story about Abigail Adams. What Beautiful Feet is, it's using living books. So instead of using a textbook, we are using actual books, actual stories that the kids will remember, because we love stories. We love being told stories. That's basically what movies are, and a lot of best-selling books, they are stories. So as opposed to a textbook that's kind of disjointed and cold and we can't really relate to it, these living books tell us people's stories so that we can really put ourselves in their shoes, and then we can start to understand some of these historical events that happened. So I really highly recommend Beautiful Feet books, and I will put their link in the description box below, and they have tons of age ranges for their curriculum. So if you need more of like a kindergarten to 3rd or 4th grade, they have some targeted curriculum for that. And then if you need like 5th to 8th grade, they have that. So you can just really cater it towards what you want. American history, they are based in California, so they have a California history unit. They have a unit on building character through literature. They also have great seasonal packs like Christmas, and for springtime, they pick very high quality literature, beautiful illustrations, especially for the younger years. We just really love it. And then if you buy the teacher's guide, I didn't buy the teacher's guide this year, but the teacher's guide includes like recipes and crafts and things if you want to take it to the next level. I like to keep it simple, and I just did the read alouds this year. So it's totally up to you if you want to kick it up a notch. So hopefully I was able to give you some suggestions that maybe you can check out in your homeschool. And if you have any suggestions for content that you want to see, please put it in the box below and share what you have been using in your homeschool this year. I will put my latest video up here if you want to see more content. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.